Good morning and welcome to our video today from Yoker Evangelical Church. It's Friday the 16th of April, and in our Bible readings this morning we read from Ecclesiastes chapter 3 and we read from 1 Timothy chapter 5. We're going to take a look at 1 Timothy chapter 5, but first I've got a question for you to answer yourself, and I would love for you to be as honest as possible as you answer this. Don't give what you think is the right answer. Think what you actually feel. How do you think of church? So when I say the word church, what is it that comes to mind? Now, hopefully you don't think of a building where you go, but rather a community that you belong to. But what is that community? What does that community feel like? That's the question. What does that community feel like? Does it feel like a social club where you go and you have friends? Does it feel like a place where you go to get teaching on something that you're interested in? Maybe it feels like a family. I think all three of those can be true and they can be helpful, but I think the most helpful and the most biblical answer for what that community should feel like is family. Now, if you said family, does church always feel like a family? I'll be honest, I know church should feel like this, but sometimes the reality falls short of what I actually experience. Sometimes church can feel like a place to go rather than a family that we join. And I know that this isn't unique to me. I know other people can feel like this too. We know church should feel one way, but when we're actually there and when we're in those relationships, sometimes it falls short. This is a real problem. When what we're experiencing doesn't match the Bible's view of what a church should be, it means that we are doing something wrong, that something of what we are experiencing is not right. We should see what the Bible describes. Now, the church is the body of Christ. It is joined together in obedience to Him. And so we want to use words to describe it like family, like community. And I think this morning our reading in 1 Timothy 5 helps us to see how to mend this, as it teaches us how to treat one another. So read along with me, 1 Timothy chapter 5, verses 1 and 2, where it says, "Do not rebuke an older man harshly, but exhort him as if he were your father. Treat younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, and younger women as sisters, with absolute purity." Do you see what Paul, who wrote this letter, does? He goes through all the different people that you'll find in church, men and women, old and young, and he says, treat them like family. So older men, treat them like fathers. Younger men, like brothers. Older women, treat them like mothers. Younger women, treat them like sisters. He encourages us to have family relationships that will reflect that Christ has brought us all into the family of God. And I hope you can see this is so much better than if Paul had used words like respect and decency. Words that would have made church feel proper but would have been lacking in that community that properly reflects what Christ has brought us into. By using these family words, he is pushing us to be in the family and to see people as fathers, mothers, brothers, sisters, rather than people that we happen to be in church with. This is why church should be better than a social club. If you were into bird watching and you joined a bird watching group, you'd make friends there because you've got a shared interest. But church should be more than that. It shouldn't just be that we all have an interest in Jesus. It should be that we are joined together in family with Him. That is what has been won for us by Christ. Belonging to that church family is one of the privileges of being a Christian. And I wonder, off the back of these verses today, maybe this is something you've felt, maybe it's something you've not felt, but are aware that other people in church might be feeling. Have a think about who you could call today. Have a think about who you could treat differently, who you could love. that would reflect the family bonds that show us Jesus. I hope you have a great day today, and God bless.